Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a vlog on how to start the keto diet. Getting a lot of questions come through with people not actually knowing where to start, and I'm just going to explain that it's not as intimidating as it seems. I know any diet sounds like such a commitment, and that's true, it is, but once you start and you're in ketosis, it's honestly the easiest thing and the results are so rewarding. So starting any diet, it can be overwhelming. Going from having no knowledge about this kind of diet regarding how much fat is good for you and what the effects of the diet are long-term and short-term, that can be really scary for some people. It is overwhelming starting a diet, especially one like this where we've been told our whole lives that fat causes this, fat causes that, fat makes you fat. And it's kind of only just surface that that's not entirely true. I'll get into this a little bit later, but there are different kinds of fats, so you do need to make sure that you are eating the right ones. I've been on the keto diet for about 3 months now, and I've never felt and looked so good. So I am the walking evidence that it does work, and I am here to reassure you that you can be in my position also. Unfortunately, with diets these days, everybody wants to be spoon-fed. Everybody wants to be told what to do, what to eat, what to do for exercise, when to eat, when to exercise, and it's hard for me to advise you what to do because I don't know you. I'm answering the questions the best that I can, but you need to take control and make a plan for yourself. You need to be well informed and educated on the topic. You are the only person who can feel and know when you feel sick, when you feel tired, when you know something's wrong, or when you're hungry. You are the person who needs to be in control of this diet. I'm here to reassure you that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. My journey is not finished. I'm still learning as I go. I'm still realizing things. With each video, every question or every comment that comes through, I learn from that. I read it, I respond, and honestly, it prompts me to do more research. At the end of the tunnel, there's clarity, there's energy, there's suppressed appetite, there's weight loss, there's longevity, there's disease reduction and prevention. There are all these amazing benefits of this diet. You just need to get there and you need to stay focused and committed. Okay, so steps on how to start. Number one is you have to be prepared. You have to do your own research. Questions such as asking whether or not a specific food is keto appropriate or a carb, you are able to put that into MyFitnessPal or Google and find out. And the more of this you do yourself, then the better at this diet you're going to be. You're going to actually find it easier in the long run. For me, I have logged so many foods into MyFitnessPal that I don't really need to track my macros very much anymore because I know exactly what is in a meal and the macros in a meal, and I know what will and won't kick me out of ketosis. Humans are creatures of habit, so I'm going to say most of you, like myself, will eat mostly the same things every day, especially if you're doing meal preps and things like that. You eat the foods that you like. So when you're starting, learn to use something like MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal is the only food logging app I'm familiar with. That's all I've ever used, but I'm sure there are many different ones out there as well. I've done a vlog on how to use MyFitnessPal, so just go back 3 or so vlogs and I've got a step-by-step on how to log things and how to understand macros. What you should do if you're eating kind of the same things every day and you're unsure of whether or not you can have that on a ketogenic diet, all you have to do is break down the meal and enter each item individually into MyFitnessPal, and it will come up with the macronutrient content of the food. How many carbs, how many proteins, how many fats, and how much fiber. But just as long as you know exactly what this diet is about, it is high fat, moderate protein. There's a misconception that it's also high protein. It's not. It's moderate protein, if anything, on the low side, and low to zero carbs. I always aim for 0 carbs in a day, and I always find my 5% is always made up in hidden carbs. The most important step to take, and this comes before research, is reassuring yourself that you can actually do it. You need to have faith in yourself. If you're not motivated and you don't believe that you can do it, then you're not going to get through the initial stages, which are the hardest, and the light at the end of the tunnel is so worth it. Surround yourself with positive people if you are talking about the topic. Listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos, read books, get on the internet. You're going to face challenges and you're probably going to make mistakes when starting off, but if you have it's inset in your mind and you're positive, then you can do it. You can get through. Just keep on going and don't quit. I'm 24 years old, I'm 168 centimeters. I get a lot of questions asking about my weight and height. I weigh 50 to 52 depending on the time of day, how much water I've had, all of that. But it's normally around 50.8 kilograms. I exercise around 4 to 5 times a week and I do a variety of stuff. Yesterday I went for a run. I went for a long run. That one was 15 kilometers, but other days I'll just go for 4 kilometers. I do weight training in the gym. I do HIIT sessions. The other morning I got on YouTube and I did a ballet class. That was random. I performed yoga. I do a whole variety of things. I've recently got into boxing and I do 100% what I feel like doing that day. But at the end of the day, anything is better than nothing. If I'm really exhausted, I'll just have a stretch and that's enough. So my calorie goal is 2,200, and that's made up of 85% fat, 10% protein, and 5% carb. I never make it to the 5% carb. I'm always under because I'm aiming for 0. The carbs that I do consume are hidden carbs. I've had a few people message me saying that they're not losing any weight and their calorie goals are around about 2,000. They're training really hard, 4 to 5 times a week. They're literally replicating exactly what I'm doing, and what I'm doing and what I'm telling you is exactly how it is for me, but unfortunately everybody is different. The one thing I probably will say is with the calorie goal, some people just can't consume as many calories to get as quick results. If you're gaining weight, please just wait a little bit longer and try and figure out what the issue is before quitting. The thing with the high calorie goal is fat is calorie dense. A calorie is not a calorie, it's all in the macros. So what I found after years and years of dieting is overtraining and having a low calorie diet, as little as 1,200 calories. Some people are even on less. It's not sustainable. You're not happy, constantly thinking about food, and I kind of don't really want to revolve my day around meal times and meal breaks because I'm so hungry all of the time. The thing with this diet is I'm just not hungry. I'm not suppressed. Like, it doesn't mean I don't enjoy food, but it means I'm more in control of what's going into my body because I'm rarely in the situation where I'm stuck. If I'm walking down the street or if I'm out, I'm so hungry that I have to cave and have something carby or something that I know that isn't appropriate or something that I don't feel like I don't like. I'm always able to wait because I'm just not starving. Just in summary, carbs are broken down as sugar and they're stored as sugar, which are then stored as fat. The reason you're storing fat is because of your carb intake, not because of your fat intake. But that does not mean that any fat is good fat. There are 4 different kinds of fat and you need to be really aware of what these are. Trans fat are the bad fats. They're the ones you want to avoid. They're the fats found in fatty food, fried food, things you buy in takeaway shops, and you want to avoid that at all costs. The thing with trans fat as well, they'll contribute to bad cholesterol. There's good cholesterol and there's bad cholesterol. We want to avoid contributing to that. Then there's saturated fats. So these fats are found in cheese, whole milk, red meat, and coconut oil. Coconut oil is an exception, but these fats can also contribute to high cholesterol, but just in large quantities. So then there's monounsaturated and polyunsaturated, and these are the good fats. These are fats that are found in olive oil, avocado, nuts, and fatty fish and omega-3 rich foods. These fats are really good and really important because they do decrease your cholesterol and they do prevent the risk of developing fatty heart disease and stroke and things like that. I'm not a doctor, but I am well educated and I've done so much research on the topic to know that the fats that I am consuming are not damaging or harmful to my body. I eat a lot of cheese and meats, don't get me wrong, but I also get most of my fats from oils, olive oil, coconut oil. I snack on a lot of nuts, and I'll always take a fatty fish option as my protein staple in a meal. I'm getting loads of questions asking me to do more what I eat in a day. Unfortunately, I can't. I'm working on this boat where I've got chefs cooking for me, and the boat is confidential, so I can't actually film anything on there. I'm home in about a month's time, so I'll be doing loads when I get home. I arrive on Christmas Eve, so I'll do a keto Christmas for you all, and yeah, hopefully I can show you a little bit more variety in what to eat. Okay, next step, grocery shopping. So when you go grocery shopping, you need to write a list before you go. You need to go when you have time, so you can actually stand and compare products. You can pick up 2 different types of cheese, for example, and you can compare the labels on the back. You can compare the fat content, protein content, and the carb content, and you're going to pick the one with the highest fats, lowest carbs, and moderate protein. Another tip is don't take a hangry partner, don't take a hangry girlfriend, boyfriend, or anybody who isn't going to be supportive of what you're doing, or is going to make you rush through this process, because it is important. By going up and down these aisles and looking at the backs of packets, you're educating yourself on what you can do. You're learning what is actually in a food, and you'll be surprised what actually is. How much fat, how much carb. Like, you could be eating something that you think is carbless, but it's actually high in carb. I will be doing a grocery haul. I obviously don't need to go grocery shopping because I live on the boat, but Chris and I will go, and I'll be picking up items, and they're going to be in Italian, so I'm going to try the best I can. I don't speak Italian, but I'll do the best I can to show you what I would buy in a grocery shop. Next step, weigh yourself. Take some measurements before you start. But what I will say is I don't want you to weigh yourself and take these measurements frequently. The only measurement I want you to be taking is the one on the urinalysis strips. So once you buy your strips and you're testing to see if you're in ketosis, some people go in within like 24 hours really quickly. So it is important you do have these ready to go. They're the only things that I will okay testing every day if you'd like. I test about every 3rd day, or if I've had a glass of wine or 2 the night before and I'm a bit like, I don't know if I'm in, I'll just test for reassurance. And to be completely honest, since I've been keto adapted, I haven't fallen out. I don't want you to step onto these scales until much further down the line, because in these initial stages, your body's going to be freaking out. You could be gaining weight, you could be losing weight rapidly, and I'd like you just to find a little bit of stability in the diet before you step onto the scales, and that number can frighten you off doing the diet. Next step, I want you to be prepared. So when you're logging your meals and you're logging your food, I want you to put it into MyFitnessPal before you eat it. And like I said before, we are creatures of habit, so I know pretty well exactly what I'm going to eat for a day when I'm at home, especially if you're packing for work or school or whatever you're doing for the day. And that way you know you're going over your macros before you actually consume the food, so then you can adjust and modify what you're going to do. Next step, and this is really, really important, one, to avoid keto flu. You need to drink so much water. You need to increase your electrolytes and increase your salt intake. And this probably might mean that you need to do more than sprinkling a bit of salt on your food. You will know if you're dehydrated and you're lacking electrolytes, because that's when you're getting headachy, that's when you're losing energy, that's when you're getting muscle aches. It's usually a sign that you're lacking particular minerals such as potassium, magnesium, and you really, really need to be careful. You need to listen to your body, you need to feel, and you need to kind of pick up on the warning signs of when you actually do need to replace these things. There are so many steps in starting a diet like this. It's not as overwhelming as you think. It's actually quite easy, but it is important to be organized when starting this. The one thing I will say, and I'll just finish off by saying, don't quit in the first few weeks. The keto flu can be really off-putting. You're going to lack energy, you've got a fuzzy mind, you're tired, you can't exercise, you may be gaining weight. Get off the scales. Just get on with it. Honestly, once you get to the other side, once you see the light at the end of the tunnel, it's so worth it. If you're ticking over about a month period, then you maybe want to start thinking about getting a blood test or speaking to a doctor, or maybe going back to your old lifestyle if that made you feel better. But I promise you that period will end and you will be so much happier on the other side once you get there. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this vlog up for today, and thank you so much for listening. I would love it if you like and subscribe and keep supporting me. And also, I would love it if you could keep on sending through questions, because I'd love to do a Q&A. I'm getting lots and lots of different random questions, so it's going to be a bit difficult to do a whole vlog on one simple, really important question. So send them on through, and I think I'll just get them all over, done with in one vlog. And hopefully at the end of the week I'll put up a grocery shop haul for you and show you what I would buy and how I would select different items and compare the packages. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.